coffee. And I'm like, okay. And so we went and had coffee, and their entire team showed up, like 25 people who weren't working, like it was during the day, to have community, and part of what was occurring at that coffee was networking. People brought guests in. And then there was a woman in their team that is going through cancer treatment, so people wrote out cards, and so it was, community is a thing. We talked about today, and I know that as you were looking at a lot of our speakers today, people were asking me questions like, well, do I have to be a major influencer? The answer is no, not even a little bit, just FYI. But you've got to be able to connect with people, and that is one thing that people are doing well. The other thing is people are leading with the business. Yeah. Now that doesn't mean they're not talking about products. You 100% need customers, and we want you to always, always, always have customers. 9 times out of 10, people will say no to the business, but yes to product. So you always want to do that. It's an and conversation that group is doing that a lot of you haven't yet figured out. So it's kind of like, well, I'm gonna wait until Mercy decides she wants to share. And then a lot of people are like, I don't get it. My team doesn't want to share. And I'm like, your customers are not your team. Right. Your customers are part of your community, but they're not part of your team. So when you talk to them with expectation, you slow everything down because they're confused. Mm-hmm. So there's that. And then the other thing, it can be frustrating because you're like, I got this team, my team doesn't share. And I'm like, well, what did they sign up for? They signed up to take products. They didn't sign up to share. So, if you want big mouth bass, you got to use the bait to get the big mouth bass instead of fishing for minnows and then wondering why they're not growing into big mouth bass. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then a lot of times, I'm going to do it because my favorite analogy is, you're rowing your boat. Right? You are rowing your boat and you're looking back and you're like, why aren't these people rowing? Right? And they're like, you're splashing me? Splashing me. It's hot out here. It is hot, right? And you're rowing as hard as you can, and you're looking back, and you're like, what are you saying? Row! Row, heifers, row! Let's go. No offense, men. Those of you that live in the part of the country where that is super offensive. But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, it's like you're disappointed because these people aren't doing what you expect them to do. When if you actually were to say, hey, we're going from here to there, it's going to be a lot of fun, we're going to do it together, you're going to need to row, then they won't be surprised. Does that make sense? So one of the things you want to do is just learn how to ask people if they'd like to learn how to make a little extra income. Hey, I have no idea this is fit for you or not, but listen, sis, I see you every Sunday crying about going back to work, and I just want you to know, we figured that out. It may not be a fit for you, but at the very least, you should check it out. Are you open to hearing more? Yeah. That's the ask, right? It's not, do you want to join my team? Do you want to do what I do? Right. That's not the ask. You have to start a little bit.
Yeah.
Fill a need.
With the problem.
Yeah. Fill a need. Become a good asker of questions about them, and then listen. Stop talking. Listen to what they want out of life. And you'll find those that need this opportunity, right? They'll tell you in certain ways. And then you have permission to say, hey, I found something that's changed my whole life. You want to hear more? That's how you get it, because you cannot make people want what you want. But when you find the 1 out of 10, they run with you. You're never dragging them, asking them to row, asking them to set up a meeting or call their people. They're all doing it way ahead of you. And it only takes 4 or maybe 5 in your entire career that will take you to the very top. you guys. That's all it is. Don't quit on that. Just find those 4 or 5.
So you gotta know what you want, and couldn't be truer. Most people think, oh, you need 20, 25 people. No, literally like 4 solid folks. And some of them are going to get kidnapped by aliens. It happens all the time. Right? What happened to Becky? She got kidnapped by aliens. You got to backfill.
Yep.
You got to backfill. Right? You know what I mean? It's just part of the game. But when you're constantly putting that in front of people that this is an option, even for those of you that share product, a really simple way to build it in is like, hey, when you get done with your health journey, just keep this in mind. There is an income opportunity associated with this. And if anything ever changes in your life, I just want you to know. And it's not selling.
It's not salesy.
Kirby.
Just to give you an example, if you look back on the Canadian market, in 2020, we found 3 runners. 3 runners for the whole country. That doubled the revenue of the company in the span of 18 months with 3 runners. Okay? So to Kirby's point, 4 to 5 people is going to blow up your business. Stop looking for thousands and thousands of people. You need to get 3 or 4 good runners. That's it. Okay?
We do have a question over here.